This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel Strat-O-Matic Baseball Excel Game of the Week.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the Game of the Week in the 1979-82 Fall League. Game of the Week, we have the Chicago Cubs against the Big Red Machine Cincinnati Reds. Cubs-Reds from Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, 79-82. Interesting era for both squads. Let's start with the Reds. 79, they won their division. 81, they had the best record in baseball in the year of the strike, was not invited to the playoffs. Everybody in Cincinnati knows that. It's like when you were born in Cincinnati, they tell you, oh, by the way, the Reds had the best record in baseball in 1981, weren't invited to the playoffs, and you write that down somewhere in a little slip of paper, put it in your back pocket, and you have to tell everybody in the state of Ohio that, and the rest of the world. That is actually true. Now, I will say this. I did a replay, I did a 1981-84 carryover league many years ago, and the Big Red Machine won the World Series in that one. They beat the New York Yankees. How about that, sports fans? So yeah, I got that World Series championship in my back pocket for the Reds. Cubs, Reds, the other team, the Cubs, well, they're the Cubs. And you know what? What you do? You don't want to be dull or boring or even a 500 team. You want to have some fun personalities and some cool cards, and the Cubs have it. They have a batting champion in Bill Buckner. They have a home run king in Dave Kingman. They've got Bobby Mercer's back in town. They have a very young catcher, Jody Davis. They have other guys. They have Rick Russell. Oh yes, and of course, the cherry on top is the few times the Cubs win. They have Bruce Sutter, the best closer in the game, before he's moved to the Cardinals for no logical reason that I can think of. But anyway, Bruce Sutter is of course, still here with the Cubs. He'll close out every close game they get into. Let's take a look at this series thus far. Game 1, opening up in Wrigley Field. It is Mario Soto for the Reds. It is Mike Krukow for the Cubs. Fun game. Good pitching, a lot of guys left on base. Let's start with Krukow. He actually gets through 6 2/3. He puts a bunch of guys on, though. 3 guys reach, a guy reaches there, 2 guys reach. You get the rare single caught stealing 3-base error, which doesn't score a run. But in the 7th, the Reds break on through to the other side with a double and an RBI single by Brett Butler. 1-zip. Or actually it's 1-1 because at the bottom of the 6th, they did get the Mario Soto for an RBI single. Battle of bullpens here, folks. Sutter is waiting, because they got a pretty decent, halfway decent bullpen. They got Dennis Kinney, Joey McLaughlin, Kevin Hickey. No save situation presented itself, so Sutter can relax and watch this thing transpire. It goes 11 innings, folks. After Soto leaves, after 11 hits and a run, you get a couple innings out of Dave Tomlin, but in the bottom of the 11th inning, a leadoff error by Dave Concepcion, and wouldn't you know it, it is Steve Ontiveros with a triple off the Moscow card to walk off. Write that down somewhere, folks. A walk-off win for the Cubs in 11 innings by a score of 2-1. The last place Cubs against the first place Reds. And that's a little upset. Game 2, we're right back the next day here in a day game in windy Wrigley Field. Fred Norman for the Reds. Rick Waits signed away from Cleveland, as the Cubs are always looking for left-handed pitching. Top of the first, Reds get a couple guys on, a 2-out RBI single by Lee May, reunited because it feels so good. Lee May back in Cincinnati. Was there in the early 70s, late 60s. Bottom of the first inning, though, typical Cub. A single, a triple by Jody Davis, and Dave Kingman with men on. That's gone. See you later. 3-run dinger or 2-run dinger for Dave Kingman. It's 3-2. Reds tie it in the 6th inning. A Concepcion walk, sac fly by Lee May again. But again, bottom of the 9th, it's now Dave Tomlin. He pitched good in game 1, 2 shutout innings. But in the bottom of the 9th, you get a leadoff triple by Dave Kingman on his own card. A walk, a strikeout, and then it's Jerry Morales' turn. Jerry Morales hits one into the gap in Wrigley Field, and you know what? These Cubs fans have something to cheer for in a dismal season. Back-to-back walk-off wins against the first-place team in their division, the big bad Cincinnati Reds. It is 4-3 final. And the Cubbies have won 2 straight. They want to sweep the Reds today in Cincinnati. Let's look at the overall standings. Haven't done that yet. And with those 2 straight wins, the Cubs find themselves, well, they're still in last place. They're 10-14 now. We're 6 out, now they're 4 out. And the Reds are 14-10. And the 2 losses kind of, dented their hopes of catching the Astros or the Phillies are a top seed in the National League. That's okay. Still kind of early in this thing. It's a 2-0 series lead. Today, we have a pitching matchup. By the way, Rick Russell and Seaver will be pitching tomorrow, if there is a tomorrow. Try to get that game on to you for you folks. I wanted to broadcast that game, but I don't even know if I can get to that game, because if the Cubs win this, the series is over. So I have to get you this game. In this game, for the Cubs, it is Reggie Cleveland, another guy they signed away, this time from the Brewers. 1980, 11-game winner, 154 innings with a 3.74 ERA. And for your Reds, it is Bill Bonham, who is a former Chicago Cub. But in 79, Bonham was on that playoff team that won the National League West. 3.78 ERA, pretty similar card to Reggie Cleveland, really. Same kind of guy. Reggie Cleveland, Bill Bonham, Cubs, Reds. Talking about the Cubs stars. The Reds, well, they're still built around Johnny Bench, but Pete Rose is gone. Joe Morgan's gone. Tony Perez is gone. Let's see. Dan Dreesen, of course, was traded or was selected off the roster by an expansion team many, many years ago. So the Reds are kind of out in the wilderness looking for a first baseman. And so they have Tim Corcoran and Lee May kind of managing that position group. They still have Ken Griffey. They still have George Foster. They still have Dave Concepcion. And, of course, Seaver and Soto are going to be here for a while. And, yeah, it's Cubs, Reds, Game 3. Reds need to win this game to avoid the embarrassment of being swept by the last-place team. Let's get started. Leading off for your Chicago Cubs, it is Bobby Mercer. 68 is a base hit. Heidi Cruz. 2-6 is a K. Bill Buckner, 69. Double one at 18 is a 2-base hit. Second and third for Kingman. Kong, as his nickname would be. 6-12, walks. Bases are loaded for Wayne Nordragon. 3-10 is a K. And with 2 outs, it's Jody Davis. 49 is a base hit off the bottom card to center field. 1 run scores. Buckner's going to try it. 11, 12, 13 against the Butler arm. And he's thrown out the plate. Well, I get a run. 1-0 Cubs. Reds are officially 27 outs away from losing the series. Brett Butler leads it off. Nice little player, Brett Butler. Was with Atlanta. Here's with the Reds. 1-8 is a K. Lee Lacy was with the Pirates. No longer. Now he's with the Reds. 2-5, double one at 19, and Lacy's on second. Ken Griffey, 56, flies to right. It's a Joe Garagiola, Ken Griffey impersonation there. Runner at second, 2 outs for George Foster. 2-6 is a strikeout. We go to the top of 2. Pete McCannon. 48, flies to left. If you're wondering, you get a lot more player movement in the Fall League than in the traditional Summer League I play. I experiment with roster movement, scheduling, playoff series, just general overall experimentation with this league. I guess you could say I don't take it as seriously as I do the Summer League, perhaps. Craig Reynolds, another non-Cub, was a Astro. 37 is a base hit. And now you got Mike Tyson. This is a real, let's take a look at this card. This is a real absurdity. They were looking for a left-handed or switch-hitting second baseman, and they found Mike Tyson. But guess what, folks? He was a right-handed batter. So that is a screw-up by Strat-O-Matic. But you know what? The Cubs really do need a left-handed hitting second baseman. So we're letting Tyson be that. And we're asking Tyson, like, other batter box, dude. Get into the other batter's box. Look at that Strat-O-Matic card. See that big S? You gotta go over there. I know you're not used to swinging in that box, but you have to do it now. Runner at first, and Tyson's going to hit and run, just to make it more spicy. Hit and run rolls a 7. Runner has to steal, and he's gone down. And now old Mr. Tyson has to swing away with his hands in the wrong position because he's so used to the other way. 69. Double 118 off Bonham's card, though. It's a single. And back up top to Bobby Mercer with 2 outs. 35's a walk. Here come the Cubs. Relentless. 2 on, 2 outs. For Heidi Cruz. 1-2. Bounce to third. May regret all the runners early. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 runners. 1 run for the Cubs. Bottom of 2. It is Tim Corcoran. Was a Tiger in 1980. Flies to right. Johnny Bench. 312. Bounce to short. And Dave McKay. Again, Pete Rose was gone. Ray Knight's gone. They need a third baseman. They have Dave McKay, who was with an Oakland A in 1981. It was actually halfway decent. 58. Base hit. As Oakland was halfway decent in 81, they won the division. Or half of the division. Half the league's division. Or they won the division half of the year. And the Royals won it the other half of the year. Figure that one out. Dave Concepcion, 1-8 is a walk. 2 on, 2 outs. For Bump Wills. 36, and Bump Wills is a base hit to center field. McKay with 2 outs is going to run 11, 12, 13 against the Nord Dragon arm. Makes it a 10. He's going to run on a 10, and he scores on a 2. Concepcion goes to third. We're tied at 1-1. Brett Butler, 59. It's a walk. Boy, base runner city in a 1-1 game. 2 outs. Lee Lacy, 57 is a pop to second. Well, all show, no go. The teams have put 12 men on base and scored twice. Top of the third. Bill Buckner, 43. Bouncer to short. This is Mr. Concepcion, 1E30. This is a weird error with it for that kind of stuff. You have Templeton's a 1E42. You've got, I think, Alfredo Griffin's a 2E40. Great ranges. Horrific number of errors on a lot of these shortstops in this timeline. Dave Kingman, 1-6 is a K. And Wayne Nordragon, 2-8, bounce to third. Bottom of the third inning, it is Ken Griffey, 38, bounce to third. George Foster, 46, is a base hit. Tim Corcoran, 38, is single 1-15, base hit, and with 1 out, 2 on. Johnny Bench, 310, is a K. With 2 outs now, it is Dave McKay, who reached last time with 2 outs. 5-12, pitcher B. More men, L-O-B. Into the fourth, Jody Davis, 67's a K. Pete McCannon, 57, is a double 1-2, base hit. You know, the other thing to suggest here is that the pitcher's templates, you saw at the beginning of the video, were those 1980 extra printed cards because the Strat-O-Matic community complained that all the pitchers had the results in the 4 columns, so they reprinted them. However, you have to really watch these cards closely because they don't have the familiar templates. They're kind of a one-and-done template, and so you pretty much have to look very closely. A dice roll you normally think would be a single is an out and vice versa. So you have to really pay close attention to these pitching templates. Craig Reynolds, 57, and that is a single. Bonham is okay. He's got a 79 card, but Reggie Cleveland has the 1980 card. They're very similar, even though they're slightly askew there. Mike Tyson, 54, center X. Brett Butler's a 2E5 in center. He makes the grab, and with 2 outs, it is Mercer. 4-4, catcher's card. This can get that runner in from third. Bench, though, is a 1E1. He gets the foul out. Well, it's 1-1. More L-O-B. Dave Concepcion, 37 base hit. B Steeler. Bump Wills will try a little hit and run action here. And he executes it. A base hit on the hit and run single. Way to go, Bump. By the way, Bump Wills would eventually play for the Cubs, I believe in 1982. We still have his Texas card that the Reds acquired, as Joe Morgan vacated second base and Bump Wills replaced him. You got runners in the corners, nobody out. Brett Butler. 32, second B, and fielder's choice that will score a run. Butler's at first with 1 out. It is Lee Lacy. 65, center C, and with 2 outs, it's Ken Griffey, 67, second X. Mike Tyson's at 2E30, but he gets a single dot anyway. 2 on, 2 outs. For George Foster. 412 flies to left field. It is 2-1 into the 5th. We go. Heidi Cruz. 2-7, double 104, fly ball. Buckner, 32, pop out. And with 2 outs, it's Kingman. 310 is a strikeout. Bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay, bottom of the 5th. It'll be Tim Corcoran. 2-8 is a walk. Johnny Bench. 38, single 1-14, lines out. Oh boy. Dave McKay. 310, flies out, and with 2 outs. Concepcion, 39, bounces to short. Boy, these two squads really have a problem scoring runs, leaving guys on base. It's pretty unnerving. You see a lot of potential in these to get, crooked number innings, and I look up, we just have a 2-1 game into the 6th. And oh, by the way, the Reds, they need to put the Cubs away here today. You can't afford a sweep here and expect to run away with the National League like those 81 Reds did. Top of the 6th, it's Wayne Nordragon. 312 is a Lomax. Jody Davis, 62, right C. And with 2 outs, it's Pete McCannon. 52, flies to right. Mr. Bill Bonham got his 6th innings. He's a starter 6, and kind of effectively, just the 1 run, a lot of base runners. Give this guy some runs. Don't let him lose the game with a 1-run lead. He's a starter 6. No reason for him to lose this game in the 7th, 8th, or 9th. Reggie Cleveland's a starter 6 as well. He'll continue. And face Bump Wills, who's reached twice. 2-9, pops the 2nd. Back up top to Brett Butler, who has reached once. 2-11, bounce to short. And Lee Lacy. 66 is a bouncer to short X. Craig Reynolds, a 3E27 at short, makes the play. We're still playing, folks. Keep thinking we're going to get a rally, and these guys are, Bonham, let's do it this way. We've seen a lot of Tomlin and Moscow already in the 2 games we've played. We've pulled Fred Norman, and the Soto went extra innings, so it's not like we were crazy to go to the bullpen. I think you can make a batter reach before you hook Bonham, so he can't lose. We'll play it that way. Craig Reynolds, 48, short X. This is Concepcion, a 1E30. He makes the play on the range there. And you want guys like Mike Tyson to swing away. Mike Tyson, 411, pitcher X. Bonham, not helping himself. E33 pitcher. And he makes the play on the X. If you ever want to check the fielding rating on this, because he's so awful, but he makes the double play, it means a very high percentage was rolled. So you can scroll over here in the spreadsheet. 94%. Yeah, 94.71% of the time. But you basically have to go out at your position and forget your glove and leave your glove in the dugout to make an error on that one. As long as you brought your glove with you, that's going to be an out most of the time. So that's an out. And with 2 outs, it's Bobby Mercer. 2-5. Let's take a look at a card. Finally, folks, it is Bobby Mercer's 1979 Cub appearance. He would be with the Yankees for a little bit. Cubs. I lose track. Was with the Yankees. Was with the Giants. I can't remember his. He's moved all over. He packed a suitcase. He's all over the place here. Great defense. -2 E3 in the outfield. But here, where he hits 7 homers and 190 at bats and a 258 average, that looks much better than 258, I have to say. Maybe the walks had something to do with it. 36 of them. Anyway, great looking card for a 258 hitter. 2-5 homer, 1-11, fly ball the rest, and it is gone on an 8. Bobby freaking Mercer has tied the game off of the dejected Bill Bonham. And there goes his W. He's now in no decision land. And it's Heidi Cruz. Well, he's not broken. And he has a chance to stick around for a red comeback in the bottom half of the inning. So I'll pitch to Heidi Cruz. 56 is a sky to center. So Bonham finishes the top half of the inning. But it is tied at 2. Reggie Cleveland's off the hook. Stretch time here in Cincinnati. It is a 2-2 thriller, folks, for you for the game of the week. We've been enjoying Bricks, 1976 Good High LP, featuring, of course, the big hit Daz, Disco, Jazz. Let's put that on here for the Reds as they bat in the bottom of the 7th inning in a 2-2 tie. Reggie Cleveland, he's got a couple lefties coming up this inning. He was on the hook for a loss. Now he's off the hook, so I don't like to put him back on the hook, is the way I kind of do things like that. We're going to go Kevin Hickey in the 7th. Lefties are coming up. As soon as we get him out of the game, we'll get Hickey out of the game. If we can get them out of the game. Kevin Hickey, 1981 Chicago White Sox, 3.68 ERA, 44 innings in the year of the strike. 81. Hickey in the 7th will face Ken Griffey. Ken Griffey is home run! No, he cannot. Well, he could on his own card on a 1-5. Let's see what happens. Ken Griffey, 6'11 off of Hickey, first X. Buckner, 2'11 first baseman, makes the play. George Foster, 57 is a walk. And here is Corcoran. Let's get him out of here and put in Mr. Lee May. Now, any more lefties coming up? No. You got switch hitters. No, and that's it. And Hickey's gone. See how easy that was? He's just a situational guy. So we got one lefty out. We couldn't get any more, which means that Butler and Griffey get to stick around. Joey McLaughlin's going to come on in the 7th. The strong righty reliever. Still haven't seen Suter in this series, believe it or not. Haven't had a save situation. The Cubs have been losing or tied, and yet they are up 2-0. As bizarre as that sounds, and we're tied again. So Joey McLaughlin will face Lee May. Let's do it. Joey McLaughlin, let's look at him. He was a Atlanta Brave in 79 with a 2.48 ERA in 69 innings. Very nice card for him. But we must look at Lee May. 82, 91 at-bats for your Kansas City Royals. A 308 hitter. And this devastating card that hits both ways very, very well. Lee May, runner at first, 1 out. And here's the pitch. 2-4, center field. 2 outs, it is Sir Johnny Bench. 44 off Joey McLaughlin, homer 1-3, fly ball the rest, and he can't catch it. He rolls the 12. All right, 8th inning. Bonham's gone. Let's get him out of there. 7 strong innings for Bill Bonham, but we have Joe Price and Paul Moskow, Dave Tomlin, Ron Davis. Let's go Joe Price. Haven't seen him all series. Joe Price, swing starter, reliever, 1980. For Joe Price, 7-3, 357 ERA and 111 innings. Nice little pitcher here. Joe Price. And yeah, this is a 1980 template that's undisturbed because either A, he led the club in ERA, which I don't think he did, or B, he's an extra player card, which I think he is. So Joe Price in the 8th inning will face Mr. Bill Buckner. 37 grounds a second. And now you've got the dangerous Kingman. Let's take a look before he swings, folks. Have to look at the Dave Kingman card of 1979. His most magnificence. 288, 48 bombs, and frankly not much else. 19 doubles, 5 triples. This is nice. Only struck out 131 times. You would think more than that. 45 walks. I think he might have gotten hurt a little bit. He didn't have 600 plate appearances. So maybe he missed some time with an injury or something. But anyway, the dangerous Kong, as they call him. Kong, King Kong Kingman, against a lefty, Joe Price, who has homers on his card as well. Here's the pitch. 54, misses it by 1 column, pops to short. And with 2 outs, it's Wayne Nordhagen. 68, pops to first base. Joe Price gets it done. Bottom of the 8th. Clockman will continue. Dave McKay. 58's a K. Concepcion, 111, flies to right. And Bump Wills, 310's a base hit. Ace Stealer, he's going to take off against Jody Davis, and he's safe. And Brett Butler, Joey McLaughlin, runner at second and 2 outs. Brett Butler mostly walks, doesn't have a lot of hits. He'll swing away. 57 is a strikeout. Again, left on base. A very surprising, low-scoring series between 2 teams that you would think would throw up an 8-7 game, a 10-6 game, but it hasn't been that way. Very terrible batting average with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. We'll go to the 9th. Joe Price will continue. He's only pitched 1 inning. He will face Jody Davis. I think a rookie, Jody Davis. 58, bounces short. Concepcion's a 1/30, makes the play. Pete McCannon, 59, strikes out. And Craig Reynolds, 1-5, struck him out. Bottom of the 9th. McLaughlin has actually pitched a lot in this series. So we are going to hook him for that reason primarily. You got Lacey, Griffey, Foster. I don't like to bring in Suter unless I have a lead, or maybe in the 10th inning. We're going to go to Dennis Kinney. He's been pretty good. In the 9th. Of a 2-2 tie, because it's pretty evident the Reds just, for this whole series, haven't done a thing with runners in scoring position, and the Cubs aren't really scared of them. So Dennis Kinney, the lefty, will come in as the Cubs try and sweep the Reds without the use of Bruce Sutter in what is currently a 2-2 game. Dennis Kinney, 1980, a 4.23 ERA, but he dominates lefties, and you got Griffey coming up in this inning. Dennis Kinney against Lee Lacy, leading off in the 9th. 2-5. Let's take a look at the Lee Lacy card. This did not work out at all. 2-5 for Lee Lacy is triple 1-17. Lee Lacy was a Pirate in 1982, but he was actually on Cleveland, and his contract was up, and the Reds swooped in, made a trade so that he does not go to Pittsburgh. So basically Lee Lacy was a Dodger, not a Pirate, before he went to the Pirates. And the Reds swooped in there and blocked that transaction from happening, and they have Lee Lacy. And the Pirates, their bitter rival, aren't happy about it whatsoever. 312. Anyway, 2-5 here, triple 1-17, double the rest. It is the leadoff triple. And now Kinney will have to bear down. He'll face Griffey, and then we'll go with probably Suter after that. Infield comes up for Ken Griffey. 48 is second X. This is going to be Tyson at 2E30 with the infield up. You don't want that ground ball B. Avoid that. It's the ground ball B, and oh my goodness, a leadoff triple. You brought the infield up, and you get the gift. Ground ball B as Lee Lacy tried to win it. No sirree, Bob. Oh, that is a killer. This is a case where the home team is like, hey, there's nobody out. Is there a way we can get around that? And the answer is no. You very seldom see that in a tie game in the bottom of the 9th, but that just happened, folks. A leadoff triple and a guy gunned down on the ground ball B to an infielder. So now you have Speedy Griffey at first base with 1 out. And you got George Foster, Lee May, Johnny Bench, and even before Foster steps in, there is a move. Mr. Kinney will leave. And now, the Cubs, they're going to make the final move to Bruce Sutter. Oh, I wish he was a relief 3. He's only a relief 2. And the way this is shaping up, he is going to pitch forever because that's the last dude the Cubs have today. It's Bruce Sutter the rest of the way, which could be this next batter, in the ninth with Griffey at first base against George Foster. Let's give you Bruce Sutter's stats. 79, 6-6 with a 2.23 ERA in 101 innings. Arguably his either his first or second best year. Very close. No, it's not his best. It's probably his second best year. Bruce Sutter, with the Cubs at least, against George Foster with a runner at first and 1 out. Have to hold Griffey. Don't want him in scoring position as a base stealer. Here's the pitch to George Foster. 1-8. Let's take a look at George Foster's card of 19. 79, 302, 30 home runs, and that one is over the wall here in Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Walks it off, 2-run blast, and the final is 4-2. Joe Price will get the win, and Bruce Sutter, his first appearance in the series where the Cubs were up 2-0, and he immediately loses the game. Guess the loss will be charged to, I don't know how you score this, folks, but I guess I always score the guy who was on base is charged to Kenny, so Kenny takes the loss here in this situation versus the guy who hits the home run. I don't know how that's done, but that's the way I do it. Anyway, so that's your ball game. Walks it off. Let's take a look at the box here. Very disturbing loss there in the bottom of the ninth. Joe Price in the top half of the 8th and 9th innings struck out a couple batters in 2 frames. Bill Bonham gets a nice no decision, 8 hits and 2 runs. They were earned. Walked 2, struck out 5. All right, this crazy Cub bullpen. So in the Hickey came on in the 7th, walked a guy, then was pulled. McLaughlin pitched an inning in 2/3, gave up a hit and 2 Ks. Kenny came on in the 9th, gave up a leadoff triple, then the fielder's choice. Then the run is charged to him, and the homer is charged to Sutter. And 6 innings of 2-run ball and a no decision for Reggie Cleveland. He gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits and a couple of runs that were earned. Walking 2, 2 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 3, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. 1-0-0-9, 0-1-0-8 and a third. 4-11, 2-8, 4-11, 2-8, 2-7, 4-5, 4-5, 2-7. And if you're keeping track, that is the 3rd consecutive walk-off victory in this series between the Cubs and Reds. How about that? It's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. Didn't expect this level of high competition and high drama. Reds needed that though. 1-0-0-9, 0-1-0-8 and a third, 4-11-2-8, 4-11-2-8, 2-7-4-5. That is game 3. So I will report back with game 4 and 5 if necessary at the end of this video, so you guys can find out who wins this very, very important Fall League series. I mean, it's kind of makes sense, you know, how kooky and zany and wacky the Fall League is, that we have what has turned out to be a kooky, wacky, and zany series here. The Summer League is a little bit more buttoned up than the Fall League. So, yep, 15 and 10, 10 and 15. You know who's who there. Let's start with the Reds. 15 and 10, hitting 273 with a 3.63 ERA. Tom Seaver, 5 and 2. Ron Davis, by the way, is the Reds closer, though he hasn't been needed. Got him from the Yankees. That's a nice thievery there. Ron Davis had a nice couple years with the Yankees in the 79, 81 era. Offensively, I think you got Lee Lacy. Oh boy, 35 for 108. 324. And you know what? I'm sure Pirate fans out there are complaining that I set up the Reds by giving, you know, Lee Lacy really had some great years in Pittsburgh, and to send him to the Reds, that's sacrilege. So, you know, that really hurts the Pirates in this rivalry. Though in '79, the Pirates swept the Reds in the League Championship Series, so there's that. And your Cubbies are 10-15. They're hitting .249. The team ERA is exactly 5. That's not going to get you into the playoffs. They've scored 93 runs. They've given up 134. Not really working out. Suter, by the way, has 5 saves. That was, well, yeah, he was charged with 1 run in that, yeah. 3 runs in 13 innings. Reggie Cleveland, by the way, somehow 0-5, but got a no decision there, which is nice. Joey McLaughlin, by the way, is 4-1 out of the bullpen. Cubs have been into a lot of games in extra innings and late in games. Look at the innings pitched by the bullpen. Almost, yeah, they, you know, a lot of extra inning games. Mr. Kingman has gone deep just 6 times. That's okay. In 25 games. You like more than that, but that's fine. You know, that'd be fine for traditional Major League Baseball for the number of games played. Their leading hitter, it's got to be Billy Buck, right? Yeah, it is. Bill Buckner. He won the 1980 batting title by a point over Keith Hernandez. 324 to 323, and look at that, or 322 to 321. Look at that, Mr. Buckner's right on par with a 324 batting average for your 1980 National League batting champion. So, with that, 322 games have been played in this fall league. We are hitting .270 with a 4.05 team ERA. And the Reds are back to a 5-game margin here. Pirates are lurking there. We'll give you the result of Game 4 and Game 5 at the end of the video. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you soon. Well, baseball fans, this is the box score of Game 3 that you just saw, with the Reds walking it off 4-2 on a homer by Foster in the bottom of the 9th inning. And so we will continue that series. Game 4 in Cincinnati, and finally the aces, Rick Russell versus Tom Seaver. And again, the Cubs just can't get out of their own way offensively here. Do nothing whatsoever in this game, after just doing basically nothing in the previous game. I think they had that homer by Bobby Mercer to tie it, and that was about it. Oh, Rick Russell had 1 bad inning. It was the 5th. A hit, an out, a walk, and then bingle, 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 3-0. And Tom Seaver says, thanks. As Tom Seaver, terrific Tom, 9 innings, 3 hits, a walk and 7 Ks in your CGSO. For terrific Tom, a 3-0 victory for the Reds. Home teams won every game. Real head scratching series. Again, Reds leaving guys on base. I just don't know I know these games have been close and walk-offs and all that, but I don't know. Missing parts seem to be everywhere. Game 5 in Chicago. Home team needs to win every game for the Cubs to win this series. Back to Game 1 starters, Mario Soto, Mike Krukow. And Krukow starts out doing the same kind of thing, putting guys on base, they don't score. Single, caught stealing. 2 guys on, 2 out, strikeout. Walk, 2 more outs. But that 5th inning, and ignited by your star, Dave McKay. Who? Dave McKay, leadoff walk. Couple singles, sac fly, RBI, single with 2 outs by Ken Griffey. It's 2-zip. 6th inning, Dave McKay, solo home run. What is going on? 3-0. And Mario Soto is just sailing along as the Cubs are just they're just flailing away. They didn't score against Tom Seaver. They go 7 innings without scoring against Mario Soto. Seaver Soto, Seaver Soto, Seaver Soto, Seaver Soto by the seashore, selling shells. Seaver Soto would dominate the Reds for a nice chunk of years, and particularly they have just ended the Cubs season pretty much. McKay gets an RBI in the 8th inning. So he scored a run, hit a homer, and drove in a run in the 8th inning of a 4-2 victory in the bottom of the 9th. they made it interesting. Ron Davis, first appearance, Reds closer. Didn't pitch in games 1, 2, 3, or 4. He comes in game 5 to face one batter, striking out Mike Tyson to tie run. Bottom of the ninth. Reds win 4-2. First road win by a team in this series, and it goes to it goes to the Reds. And yeah, the Reds are the Reds. They're doing their thing, but they're kind of struggled to do it. Overall look, here we are again, and the Reds. They are 17-10, playing 6:30 baseball, and the Cubs are just doing Cub stuff, just folding up like a cheap card table, and yeah, it's not good there. So yeah, break up your Cincinnati Reds. They do indeed win the best of 5, 3-2. Thanks for checking out the game of the week. We'll see you next week.